A frequently raised critique of the three-body problem relates to the Sophon technology, with the argument being that if Sophons possess such immense power, they could easily eradicate humanity. However, this perspective may be missing a crucial aspect of the Trisolarans' intentions and strategy. Although the Sophons are portrayed as possessing a vast array of powerful capabilities, including the potential to induce cancer in every human by manipulating DNA molecules, the Trisolarans appear to exercise a degree of restraint when utilizing this technology. This is due in part to the recognition that employing such extreme measures could potentially provoke an equally extreme response from humanity. If pushed to the brink of destruction, humans may resort to desperate, last-ditch efforts to repel the invasion, even if it meant rendering the Earth uninhabitable. This concept of a scorched earth policy is not without historical precedent. Throughout human history, there have been instances where nations faced with the prospect of invasion and defeat have opted to destroy their own cities and resources as a means of deterring further aggression. The Trisolarans, being well aware of this tendency, seem to have elected to avoid any actions that might provoke such a response. Instead, the Trisolarans chose to utilize the Sophon technology in a more subtle, nuanced manner. Rather than initiating a direct, full-scale assault on humanity, they focused their efforts on undermining human progress in the realm of fundamental physics research. By stifling humanity's scientific advancement without providing a clear external enemy to rally against, the Trisolarans sought to maintain a delicate balance. They recognized that keeping humanity docile, complacent, and unaware of the looming threat was the most effective strategy for achieving their ultimate goals. Another point of confusion for many viewers is the fact that the Trisolarans, despite their advanced technology, are not as evolved as one might assume in the broader context of galactic civilizations. On the Kardashev scale, which measures a civilization's technological advancement based on its ability to harness energy, the Trisolarans are classified as a Type 2 civilization. This indicates a level of development that, while impressive in comparison to humanity's current capabilities, is far from limitless. One of the most frequently raised questions regarding the three-body problem concerns the rationale behind the Trisolarans' selection of our solar system over any other. To comprehend this, it's crucial to recognize that the Trisolarans have the capacity to propel their sizable fleet at a speed of only about 1% of the speed of light, which is notably slow for interstellar travel. Consequently, the only other reachable nearby system is Bernard's star system, with no planets within the habitable zone. Prior to intercepting any signal from Earth, the Trisolarans were already aware of our system, given its proximity as the nearest stable star system to them. It's probable that they had been contemplating its colonization well before any contact, though due to the long voyage, it was regarded more as a contingency plan, to be pursued only if all other options failed. We need to understand that the Trisolarans don't operate as a singular entity. Rather, they consist of distinct political factions. Despite being far more advanced than us, as a civilization, they were in a tough spot. Amidst a constant struggle for survival, their political focus primarily revolved around addressing the challenges within their own star system. Undertaking a 400-year journey was politically unpalatable at that juncture. Otherwise, they would have embarked on such a venture long before. However, upon receiving our message and learning of the presence of a fully habitable planet inhabited by a sentient species purportedly seeking aid, they received the unifying news they desperately needed, and their political will shifted towards colonization. Initially, their intention was to establish a form of coexistence with us, although it would have required limiting our technological advancement indefinitely. This approach was likely taken to appease factions within their society who disagreed with the initial plans. Some individuals even oppose this form of coexistence, like the first Trisolaran, who advised us against making contact. To gain support from their entire civilization, they needed to adopt a more balanced approach. However, there is a far deeper reason behind their selection of Earth. The most misunderstood aspect here is that, according to game theory, our contact effectively forces them to claim our star system, regardless of their initial intentions. Even if they discovered a habitable planet in the Barnard star system, they would inevitably have to address us at some point, given our proximity to that system or any other system they could reach. If Trisolarans chose to ignore us, we would surpass them technologically, and then they would have to deal with a civilization that's technologically far above them. In other words, avoiding us would have been detrimental to their long-term survival under the rules of the dark forest hypothesis, which in the three-body problem universe is their most closely guarded secret, as it reveals the reality of the universe that can be used for deterrence. A lot of confusion in the TV adaptation of The Three-Body Problem surrounds one element from the book trilogy that stands out as the most pivotal moment, destined to have a profound impact on the unfolding events, the Staircase Project. Particularly the reasoning behind sending a human brain towards the incoming Trisolaran fleet. To decipher this peculiar decision, we must consider several crucial elements influencing it. Firstly, it's imperative to acknowledge that Trisolarans possess continuous access to all human communication, strategic planning, and activities due to the reconnaissance Sophon probes deployed on Earth. Given this circumstance, the only viable strategy to counteract the Trisolarans is to employ measures that are uncertain for both parties. Any action that clearly favours humanity would be promptly countered. On the other hand, measures that may benefit the Trisolarans or appear to be a mistake on humanity's part would not be countered. Wade knows that the Trisolarans would undoubtedly seize the opportunity to capture a human brain, particularly one that does not demonstrate allegiance to humankind. It is essential to underscore that no other alternatives, such as sending a nuclear warhead, a virus, an electromagnetic pulse, a surveillance camera, or any other device, would prove effective in this context. The Trisolarans would either disregard or swiftly eliminate any such attempts. However, presenting the brain of an adversary species that is disloyal to its own kind presents a unique and valuable chance for the Trisolarans to examine and exploit it against humanity. It would be unwise for them not to seize this opportunity. Consequently, there is ambiguity surrounding the potential outcomes of this capture, and whether it will ultimately serve the Trisolarans or humanity's interests is a coin flip. Nevertheless, it is vital to recognize that a chance, no matter how uncertain, is preferable to the absolute certainty of defeat. In conclusion, Wade's decision to dispatch a human brain towards the Trisolaran fleet, grounded in his understanding of the Trisolarans' keen interest in such a valuable asset, represents a calculated risk in a context where failure seemed otherwise inevitable. Within the context of the existing conditions and limitations, the initiation of the Staircase Project is the most viable course of action among all available alternatives. The rationale behind the creation of Wallfacers was due to the United Nations recognition of the necessity for an unpredictable command structure. Sophons possess the capability to potentially observe and listen to all activities, thereby necessitating that any significant defensive operation be enigmatic and unforeseeable to everyone except the individual in command. As a result, only one person could be granted command of any major defense initiative, while everyone else would be required to carry out the operation without knowledge of the underlying purpose. Attempting to infiltrate the ship with special forces was deemed infeasible, as the ETO would likely erase the drive's contents long before the control room could be located. The nanofiber weapon was considered the ideal solution because by the time the ETO became aware of the intrusion, it would be too late, as everyone on board would have already perished. Moreover, the nanofibers were strategically positioned 50 centimeters apart, reducing the likelihood of damaging the drive to approximately 4%, a risk that the PIA found acceptable.